Welcome back. In today's video, we are going to look at how do you speak under pressure. A lot of times we are under tremendous pressure to speak and speak well. It could be a board meeting, it could be a presentation that you are suddenly asked to present. It could be any situation where you are called on to share your ideas, called on to talk, called on to answer a question. And it could be a very, very important question, crucial question. And while you might know the points, you have no time to think about and prepare, rehearse to go on to the stage to make that point, to make that presentation. But these situations happen very, very often in a corporate life. And how can you be prepared for this? That's what we are going to look at in this video. Let's jump in. Number one, take a deep breath and calm down. Your mind, your body, your adrenaline, everything is on an overdrive. So remember that. And when everything is on overdrive, we may not be able to speak coherently, speak well. So calm down. The best and the easiest and the quickest ways of calming down is to take a deep breath. Do it 3 times. There are different breathing methods. It could be 4-7-8 breathing. It could be box breathing. Use any of the breathing technique that you are comfortable with. Basically, take a deep breath, do it 3 times, count to 10 as you walk to the podium, as you walk to the stage, as you look at. You don't have to answer right away, right immediately. Remember that you are thinking, you are taking time. Smile while you do that. Look at the set of people who are present slowly. Look at the person who's asking you the questions calmly into the eye. And then, after you have taken the breath, start talking. What do you do? How do you start talking? That's point number two. The point number two, what do you speak and how do you even go about your speech? Stay on the topic. It is easy to go all over the place. So remember what the question was. And many, many times it's a very, very effective technique, especially to gather time to ask the question to be repeated. You may say that I got the question, but for my abundant clarity, can you please repeat that question? That would help me to answer you better. And people are very happy to repeat the question. And before you start answering, repeat the question and ask the participant, ask the person who's asking you the question, have I understood this right? Is this a question? Am I right? They will say yes. And then parts of the question, in case you have some more clarity, that you need more clarity on some parts of the question, ask those questions before you start answering. Say that, okay, this is what you asked. You asked about what is the status of the project, and you meant this project, right? Or you asked about the status of the project. I have the status up to last week. Is that okay? Would that be comfortable to you? Would you need more details? So clarify parts of the question and the intent of the question and where they are coming from before you start answering. It does two things. One, it shows that you are ready to answer and the willingness to answer, the preparedness, and the fact that you are asking for clarification would also ensure that the question is abundantly clear, absolutely clear to you, so that you can answer that pretty well. Number two, this process of asking cross questions, asking for clarifications also ensures that you get a little more time to think about the answer at the back of your mind. But do ensure that before you start answering, you get clarity on what the question to start with is. Then the answer starts. And that is point number three. Point number three, answer using a framework, what I call as prep framework. Make the point, which is answering that question. Give the reason, logic, why that point is the point that people need to look at. Then give example wherever required. Then close with the same point. So P for point, or for reason, E for example, P for point again, prep methodology. So when you start with the point, you are answering the question and you may say why that answer is the right answer, why something else is not the right answer. That is what the reason and the logic is. Then when you go on to give example, it's like this, and so on. It could be example, it could be illustrations, it could be further divisions of reasons. That becomes the E part of prep. and then you finish with P. A lot of times, the answer may not be just 1 point, maybe 2 points or more, but ensure that you restrict it to 3 points. A lot of times, the rule of three is a great savior for us. Three things to talk, three things to illustrate, three things to explain, three things to give examples on. Life becomes easier. So say that you're going to answer, start with a point, and structure your point into not more than three. Answer that, and then give reason, and then give example wherever required, and then close with the point, PREP. When you do this, you will be very, very coherent and you will be able to answer very, very well. A few key things that you should remember is body language. If you are nervous, it will show in your body language. That is where breathing in and counting to 10, breathing in for 3 times, calming down is becoming very, very important. So calm down, channelize the energy, channelize the adrenaline which is flowing through you because sudden question, sudden pressure situation, all of that. Channelize that energy into answering that question rather than fiddling your thumb, doing this, oh, doing this. Sure. Sometimes people oscillate like this, like this. Stop doing all of that. Keep your fingers like this. It's also called power posture. And if you're sitting, you're standing, whichever posture is fine, whatever is comfortable to you, in the context of the meeting is fine. But channelize your energy rather than twiddling your thumb and oscillating and doing anything extraordinary with your body. So keep it still and channelize everything on your words. The other thing that you want to do is take pauses. When you are answering, if you need to think through, say that this is a part of the answer. You are composing, you are searching for the right words to articulate it better, and you are taking a pause. It's absolutely okay. You don't have to rush in and fill the silence. A lot of times people just can't stand silence and therefore they keep talking, and the thought process is not keeping pace with the speed at which they are talking, and hence, therefore, lots of and filler words happening and people stuttering. All of this is happening because the thought process is slow. You are still searching for the right answer. You are still searching for the logic. You may not have the records readily with you, and still you are trying to answer. When that is happening, there is a gap between the rate at which you are speaking versus the rate at which you are thinking the right answer, and hence a lot of people go wrong. And that also leads to you are realizing that you are going wrong. That realization also makes the situation worse, and you start shaking, you start stuttering, you the lots of whums and ahs and filler words happening a lot more frequently. Stop it. It's okay to take a pause. It's okay to think through. It's okay to say that you are thinking through and take that extra 10 seconds to pause and think and reflect and answer. Sometimes you may say that, yeah, these are the 2 points you remember. Quickly, you would like to check and come back. That's absolutely okay. Rather than answering, giving wrong answer, answering the wrong manner, and looking very bad in the whole meeting. So don't do that. So it's absolutely fine to not fill the silence. It's absolutely fine to take a pause. It's absolutely fine to say that you will come back. A lot of times, when you are under pressure, when you are not fully prepared, your tonality may become very rushed. That is when you need to be in control. That is when you need to calm down, slow it down, so that your thought process speed and your speaking speed can match together. Otherwise, a lot of challenges would happen because you would speak without the thoughts being there, and that is what leads to a lot of challenges while speaking, a lot of problems in actually articulating because the articulation is not ready in your mind yet. So, what will you articulate? There'll be lots of filler words, there'll be a lot of unnecessary words, and people get into problem because the person who's listening to you is not able to understand what you are thinking, whether your thought process is complete or not. They are only able to listen all of this, understand all of this through what you're speaking. Hence, slow it down, calm down, and you can speak in a tonality which is slightly above the whisper so that it is controlled. There will be Especially when you are put under pressure, there is what is called as a flight or fight syndrome. Sometimes people want to just get away from that, and that shows in the body. Sometimes people want to fight, that shows in the tonality. People get angry, people get all red, all in red all over the face, all of that happens. So control your tonality, control your voice, control the pace in which you are speaking so that everything comes together. A lot of times people know that when they get into a meeting, there could be questions on related aspects. Giving an example, let's say this is the meeting that you are getting into is about project A, where you have contributed something. And you are under the impression that the questions, the discussions are all going to be about project A. But in the corporate life, nothing is about one specific thing. A lot of times, the meetings are all about a cluster of related things. You know it. And if you don't know it, you should know it at least now. So, along with Project A, what other aspects are there? What is it that the company is looking for? What is it that the company is struggling to achieve? What is it that the company is looking at as parts of its vision and therefore it's very important to them? These are something that you need to keep in mind so that when there are questions in the meeting, you are able to effectively answer and even before that, effectively prepare for what might happen in the meeting. That preparation, that awareness that things can happen about related points, even though the meeting is not about, let's say, project B or project C, there could be related points because they're all related to project A or they're all related to company's vision, their company's urgency or company's growth related points will keep you grounded in terms of preparation. Nothing to beat the preparation, or nothing which can beat your being calm under pressure, nothing to beat that readiness where you have all the data, all the points, all the status readily with you because you are aware that all of these are important to the company, all of these are important to the department, all of these are going to contribute to the growth that the company is wanting to achieve. When you realize that overall importance and realize that all of this can be discussed at any point in time, you are always ready, and hence that readiness and that preparation ensures that you are under less pressure. You will be under pressure when you are asked to call, when you are called upon to talk, when you are asked to talk suddenly about a project where you have not gone with the mindset of talking about it. So there will be pressure, but you will be able to tackle that very, very effectively, especially when you are always prepared. When you know your status, when you know what is going on, when you have talked to your colleagues, when you have talked to your team on a regular basis and know what is happening and know what has gone well, what has not gone well, and you are prepared with plan B, plan C for what is not going well, you are under no pressure from showing the status. And hence, that preparation immensely helps you in terms of handling any kind of situation, however, suddenly that situation might manifest. Finally, practicing makes it perfect, nothing to beat practice. So you might want to look at situations which might come like this, look at some of the situations which might have happened in the past, and practice as to what you will do if you are asked in a meeting about points A, points B, point C, and so on and so forth. So that that mental rehearsal and mental preparedness and the readiness makes you a lot less under pressure whenever you are called on to speak, whenever you are called on to discuss about a project, about a readiness, about what is going on in your area of expertise, in your team, whatever the topic could be. That readiness, that awareness and preparation, saying that, yes, in a corporate life, I might be called on to speak at any time. I might be asked a question to answer at any time. And when I answer, irrespective of who that person is, what that person is asking, if I'm able to answer it very well, then my respect among my peers is going to go up. And that is the way to go up in the ladder of the corporate. When you understand this, when that realization is there, you will be always prepared. And when you're always prepared, there's nothing like big pressure for you. Wishing you all the best. Be prepared, be ready. Use some of the techniques that we have talked about. Whenever you are asked to talk suddenly in a meeting, you will be able to use it. See you in our next call.